myself when I get tired. I just try to put myself in another spot of not focusing on being tired, but this is how it's going to feel crossing the finish line.
Yes. Okay. I love it. Does anybody else want to share how they've used visualization, or how they maybe think they can use it or plan to use it? Lawrence? Yeah.
Well, no, I plan to use it. Sometimes you see yourself stopping and say, well, that's easy. Let me do that. Now I'm going to go the other way. No, I've done it a little bit before, but honestly, triathlon's first time in a long time I've had anything to really work at visualization for.
Okay.
It wasn't just prepping for a meeting with a big client or something of that nature.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good. And it is fun to use it in different areas of life too, in work as well. Shashi, you want to talk to us about your experience?
Yeah, last year was my first open water St. Louis sprint distance that I did. And I was freaking out all the time when I was doing the open water. And every time I was just visualizing before that race, like, what will I be doing? Even, just in terms of my focusing on my breathing. And I was just trying to see how would I breathe and what will be, how will I not drown myself? That was the only goal. Like, just finish it, don't drown. So I was just trying to visualize that. And on the race day, it was like a magic. Like, I didn't even realize I finished my swim. And I came out and I was just like saying, okay, all the time I was riding, I said, Shashi, you just finished your swimming. It was like all this whole lap I did. I was just continuously saying, hey, I just finished my swimming. And that's the whole mental block that I had. But I was just trying to prep myself more than I needed, I think. But it helped me just to prepare myself. Like, yeah, I'm getting to go in that crowded lake and then swim myself out and see how that goes. And it worked out.
Oh, good. I'm so happy for you. That's awesome. Yeah.
Looking for Olympic now this year. So let's see how that goes.
Yes, it will be great. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
Right? Use that visualization again. Cool. Well, good job using it. Helen, do you have something?
Well, I was thinking about that, about the swim at Boulder last year. And I have done the visualization at your, because of your advice, before races, probably several times the night before. Just I have kind of a little sheet and a checklist and stuff that I work on the night before. And so I have done some of that. But I was particularly worried the night before the Boulder race last year, because I really wasn't sure if the elevation was going to affect me and how. And I was like, I got to get through that swim. That's really what was concerning me. And I had some visualization tricks for the night before, but also they're tied into the things that I plan to do anytime I'm in open water if I have a problem in the water. And I felt really good that night when I went to bed. Like, I'm ready. I'm as ready as I can be, and I know what I'm going to do if I start to feel my heart accelerate, and I'm going to get through it. And the swim went really well. And kind of like Shashi was just saying, once I got through that, I was kind of like, well, the rest is going to be a piece of cake. It wasn't, but I got through it.
Good. Oh, good. Thanks for sharing, guys. I love this. So, okay, so we have covered our first three. The first one was focusing on technique and controlling what you can. That's a biggie, controlling what you can and kind of adjusting your attitude as needed. I say attitude, yeah, they're your goals, your attitude, your everything. And then how stress can benefit you, turning stress into excitement, turning that nervous energy, not saying I'm nervous, and even just not even saying it, instead saying I'm excited. I'm not nervous about the swim, I'm excited about the swim, things like that. And then number 4 is pick the right pre-event. So what do you find is calming to you in a time of that nervous, stressful feeling, such as race morning? So I'll give you an example of what I like to do. And then if anyone wants to share, has ideas, let me know. Some people on the way to the race, they listen to loud music and get all pumped up and dance and sing and try to get energized that way. And that's really motivating to some people. And I might do that on the way to the race. But then when I get to the race, what is calming for me? It would be first organizing my transition area and just feeling like, okay, I'm set. It's exactly how I need it. This part's done. Check that off the list. Then if I have extra time, of course, we make the bathroom stop about 3 or 4 times or 5 times. And then even in the lines, when you're waiting in line for the bathroom, that's not a negative thing. That's a great time to talk to other athletes. So everyone's standing there like this, like, nervous and excited and not talking to anyone. So try to open up some conversation with people around you. It's very calming to help other people, right? So, and you can do that all during the race. So trying to help other people by just talking to them, hey, you from around here? Hey, have you done this race before? You all know how to talk to people, but using that to calm yourself down by maybe they're more nervous than you are, and you can calm them down by saying, no, but you're probably trained for this, right? Whatever, you all know how to talk to people, but that's calming to some people. Other people need to get away from other people and kind of meditate and find a quiet space. I like to do a little of both. If I am in that line, I will try to talk to people. And other than that, if I have time, I'm going to go find a place just like to lay down in the grass and put my legs up or whatever I need to do, or just walk around and just kind of clear my mind and get away from people for a while. And that's nice for me. But then when it comes time to go back to the swim start where all the people are, same thing. You're going to look around and you are going to see people that are just scared shitless. Talk to them, get some conversation going. You can really, really calm them down and yourself down by focusing on someone else. So I like to do that. Finding those things that help you. The St. Louis Triathlon, for instance, and all of the MSC triathlons, we try to give you an opportunity to warm up for the swim. So we give you 15 to 20 minutes to jump in, just do a few strokes, just do a couple little laps out and back, try to kick hard, just get your heart rate up for a second. That can help you get rid of some of that nervous breathing. And it just keeps you a little busy during that time where you might be standing there staring at the water, That will keep you a little busy. It gives you something to do. Even if it's chilly outside, who cares? You're going to be uncomfortable all morning. So just get even more uncomfortable. But that can really help them when you go to the starting line and jump in. You're not like, you've already been in the water and you already know what to expect, right? So that can help. Another idea that I've done that I really like, especially if they don't have a swim warm up, is I'll throw on some other running shoes and I'll, if transition's still open, I'll just use my running shoes that are in transition and just run around a little bit. Just run around, do some high knees, do some running drills, get your high knees, get your heart rate up again. So get your heart rate up. So you're breathing heavy a little bit, just for a little bit. I have a client that likes to run half mile to a mile before. It's just a nice, easy run to get her heart rate up. And then she feels nice and calm at the swim start. So you could try those things. Oh, okay, John, good luck in your swim. Let me know how it goes.
Okay, I'll send you a message when I get home.
Okay, good. Have fun. Remember, have fun.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, bye-bye. Thanks for coming.
Thanks.
Okay, so that's your pre-race practices, and you can add a little bit of meditation. We haven't talked about meditation much, but I'd like to do some meditation with you guys. Yeah, Shashi.
So how much does this mass start versus wave start affects your mental in terms of swimming?
It can be really scary. So when the last time I did Ironman, when I was doing Ironman, they were doing all the swim starts as mass starts. So you had 2,000 to 3,000 people all getting in the water at the same time, running in the water. I mean, it was insane. And so swimmers as far as you could see. And I mean, the boats were just like, people were just like swimming over the boat. Sometimes the boats would capsize. It was insane. People would just freak out. You'd see people just like coming up, like looking around, like they don't know what to do. They're freaking out, they're panicking. It was very dangerous, actually. So that was really hard for people, and always induced panic in so many swimmers. So the way we do it now is the time trial starts. So either one to maybe 6 swimmers at a time enter the water with a little pause in between. So you have a nice little flow of swimmers. It allows the race to have a little bit more narrow path for the swimmers so that the lifeguards can keep a closer eye on everyone. That's always our goal, is like, we have lifeguards all over this course, but if the swimmers are all spread out, then the lifeguards aren't going to be able to watch them as closely. And our lifeguard company is they're real sticklers on that. So the more spread out time trial swims are definitely more helpful in keeping you calm. It can be exciting. A lot of the races like Memphis, was it Memphis? No, Galveston, Louisville, there's some where you jump off of a dock into the water. And that's a lot of fun. So you jump off the dock, but that gets your heart rate up instantly. It's like, oh, you get like our Lake Springfield race, we're going to have you jump off of a dock. And even though it's not a big jump, there's something about just that splash and then starting to swim. David and I both in the beginning of Galveston were like, took us a little while to get our breathing, and water was warm, but so that was kind of exciting. So preparing yourself for those different swim starts is a good idea too. Just knowing that it might be different, you might go through a little panic, just accept that. You'll be fine, you'll get out of it, you'll get your breathing back to normal. And
But there is no, after COVID or something, that they're not coming back to this waves.
right.
And I wish that if they just use that as a, get the new rule or something, because
Yeah, you prefer the wave?
2,000 getting into water at the same time must be scary.
Yeah, it is. It's scary. You're right. And COVID was a big reason.
People might
why
be just pushing other people down,
Oh yeah, you'd swim over people, you didn't even know it. It was all so crazy. It was crazy and dangerous. That was the big thing, is I think people realized, their race directors realized when they did make those adjustments for COVID, that some of them are great adjustments to keep,
Yeah, that's a good
for
one.
safety reasons. So
Yeah,
yeah.
one of the challenges, I guess, of the wave start is, if you're, like me, one of those slower swimmers, then you're standing in line for a long time. And that's another thing that I just, learned. I mean, I've only been doing this a few times, but that's one of the things you need to be prepared for when you're standing in line, and how to not, get in a bad place or get bored or get stiff or, get annoyed or whatever, and get through, it can be a pretty long time just standing, and your body's starting to,
Yes.
change a little bit. But, if you're ready for that and you have some things you can do when you start to feel any of those reactions, that helps.
Having, and that's a great time too, Helen, like we can think of all different things that we could do during those times that would be beneficial for our race, such as breathing exercises. That's another one. I mean, it's kind of a mental thing. I don't have this in here, but breathing, focusing on your breathing, doing some deep breathing can be very calming. And I practice that a lot just sitting at my desk. So it just helps me become more mindful of my breathing. The more I do it, the more I think about it. So it's nice, especially in those times when I do feel anxious or stressed or, impatient or anything like that. Just think about your breathing and go back to deep breathing. And it's very good for your whole body. It's good for every cell in your body to get more oxygen too. So those are great things. Okay, so pre-event, also practice positive self-talk. Of course, we all know that. It's easier said than done sometimes. And we kind of talked about this in earlier ones, but I really like to have a mantra. And again, these are just little games you can play with yourself. Have fun with it. So mantras, might be in a situation like the rain, like, hey, just big kids playing in the puddles, whatever it may be. Or if it's a windy one, I've had an athlete say, yeah, I was just telling myself, slice through the wind, I'm slicing through the wind, thinking of things like that. Or it might just be a regular mantra that you use a lot in your racing, like I'm a strong cyclist. I'm a strong swimmer. This experience will make me an even stronger swimmer, things like that. But all of those positive mantras or just affirmations, like anytime, and this is something to practice in your daily life. I practice it and seriously, it works. You can make a habit of it. When a negative thought enters your mind, you can flip it to a positive. And always try to do that. When a negative thought or you're putting yourself down or you're crabby about something, trying to flip it and find a positive in whatever, something in your day or something in your life, or taking that situation and finding some good in it, or that person who's pissed you off, finding some good in that person. It's really hard to do, but it can lighten your load significantly in every aspect of life. So, but really in racing, it can be amazing too. And again, it's just a fun game. Play it. Why not? Try it, have fun with it. It gives you something to think about. So, and I would love it. I would so love it if you all would take this information, use these tools as much as you can. And then in your race summary, after you do your race, I'd love for you to write me a race summary of your experience, every single bit of your experience. Have fun with it. Make it a story. Tell me how your nutrition went. Tell me how you felt. Tell me about, things that all of these different exercises that you used, or tools. Exercise isn't a good word. All of these amazing tools that you used in your race and leading up to your race. I would love it. And then I'll hold you accountable, right? So you can use these. We have one more, and that one is self-awareness. So self-awareness is one that I used recently in my Galveston race. So self-awareness is basically being realistic about your goals. I was realistic about Galveston because I went into it a bit undertrained. I had some things going on in my life that prevented me from, and I'll just say, part of it is being a business owner. So priorities are kind of like, everything's fun to me, right? Like, I love my work. I love to just like dive in and work. Sometimes it takes away from training. I love the training too. I so love it. But different times I prioritize, and maybe the training takes a back seat. I know I can do a 70.3. I knew I could get ready for it, but it wasn't going to be a PR. It wasn't going to be an awesome race. I was going to struggle a little bit because I just wasn't in that great of shape for the bike. I know I can hold a higher speed in the bike, but realistically, I was going to not be as strong on the bike, and it would affect my run as well. So I was realistic. I went into it knowing it was going to be fun. I was going to take this as an experience, and also to motivate myself to say, Sally, you prefer to do a race much more prepared than this, right? So learn from this, Sally. Don't do that again. Put your own training up there a little bit higher. Like, I like to prioritize it, just like you all. I try to strive for balance so that you get all the training you need to have a super successful race, but you also take care of your families, take care of yourself, have a social life, etc. So I try to tell myself to do the same thing. But self-awareness is just being in touch with yourself and being realistic and knowing what your abilities truly are, and maybe and not focusing on your weaknesses, just knowing what your strengths are and knowing that you have room to improve on those areas that are not so strong. I don't even like to use the word weaknesses, maybe limiters. They limit you from your full potential, but those are the limiters that I like to help you, grow. So, and get better at. And self-awareness too, that can be part of your visualization as well, like knowing like, okay, one of my limiters is I don't drink enough water on the bike. So I'm going to visualize drinking enough water on the bike, right? And then, so that's number 6. And let's just say the big picture in all of these things is you're going to have a more successful race if you train properly for it. So kind of like we just talked about my Galveston race. If you train properly for it, that's number 1, right? So let's look at those big picture things. And if you also have like the good daily habits, nutrition, you take care of yourself, you get enough sleep, all of those base things that I pretty much talk about it every time we do one of these calls, right? They're that important. But add these things, again, they're free, right? They don't cost anything. They just cost a little bit of time where you might be thinking about other things or stressing about something, or right, or you're walking your dog, you can visualize your race. Does anybody have anything else to add or any other ideas for the group or experiences? This was fun, and I love it when you all share your own experiences. I think it helps everyone, and it just makes it more interesting, right? So I have a very recent situation, I don't know, I'll call it a situation for lack of a better word, that I'm really, really trying to use all of these mental toughness tools. I just found out last week, which you all will find out about this soon enough, so I'm going to tell you now. Thursday, I found out that I have to have neck surgery like as soon as possible. I have degenerated discs, three to four severely degenerated discs. I didn't even know I had a neck problem. And the most severe spinal cord compression that my doctor has seen in her 9 years of practice.
Wow.
They're surprised I'm walking normally. They're surprised that I don't have serious symptoms right now. And they're trying to get me in for surgery as soon as possible. So I might be in surgery the day after St. Louis Triathlon, unless I have any new symptoms that pop up. Then they said, go to the emergency room. So that's where I am right now. And it likely was caused from years and years and years in aero position. He said, my neurologist said, a lot of people might have degenerative discs in their neck, but they never have any symptoms, right? I have the spinal cord compression going on that caused like numbness and tingling in my arms at night for on and off for the past 1.5 years. And I just shrugged it off like my chiropractor just can't get that, she's not strong enough to get that one vertebrae that's pinching that nerve that's causing that. That's seriously what I thought. So finally she said after 1.5 years, and I kept going back to her for it, she's like, have you ever had an MRI of your neck? And I said, no, never really thought about it. Did the MRI, my doctor called me right as soon as she saw it, and she said, I am very concerned. So long story short, I have to have the surgery. I'll be in a neck brace out for the count for about a month, and then I'll be able to walk for a while. So my full intention is to get completely back into triathlon. Maybe I'll just need a little different bike fit, but once they fuse the discs and everything, it should be just fine. I might lose a little bit of mobility, but like right now I can move my neck every which way. I'm trying not to move it too quickly because I'm just scared. Right now I'm just scared because they said the big thing right now is if I had any trauma to it, that like if I fell or something, that there's a slight chance, not a huge chance, but there's a chance that I could go paralyzed. So right now I'm just like living in fear.
Wow.
I'm trying to be as positive as I can. I'm cleaning my whole house. I'm focusing on you guys. So
Hey, Sally, hey,
Yeah.
I'm glad you got an answer and you got something to start to work on, with this surgery to get this thing figured out. And it resonated with me when you said that your doctor said, like, in 9 years, I haven't seen anything like this. And how are you even walking and functioning? And to me, that says it all about you and how you're going to come out of this thing, because you're a fighter and you're a survivor, and you're an incredibly strong person physically and mentally, and I know you're going to come out of this in even better shape, and you're a role model for the rest of us, and you're going to now is one more thing you're going to be a role model about. But I have to say one more thing.
Yes.
I think about the times you've said to me many times, Helen, everything I'm telling you, it has a reason. There's a purpose. So when your
True.
doctor is talking to you about, like rehab and recovery and all that stuff, you do your part.
I will. I'm trying to get a physical therapist right now. Like, I want to get a physical therapist now that can start working with me, because now, what's so funny is moving is what keeps us so much healthier and feeling good, because I'm just walking a little bit every day now. My different things in my body hurt that have never hurt before. Like my IT bands are tight. Shashi, my IT bands are tight. I'm like, where is that coming from? I'm just sitting and not doing any. I mean, I'm cleaning the house, but yeah, all kinds of things. And my neck's hurting more. Like, I don't know. She said it could get worse. So, but yeah, it's hurting more, but because I'm not moving. But thank you all so much. Thank you, Helen. Thank you, guys.
I think you just talking through this would you to just relax yourself, like, just whatever you just said about your mental visualization, coming back out of this surgery and getting back into all things again, back again pretty soon. Be
Yes.
strong anyways, but
Thank you. And you know what I'm going to use a lot of this time for that I'll have is working on how I can add value to my coaching and help you all even more. So so look for that.
Well, it's back to what you can control, right, Sally? You can
Yes.
control that. You can control the Zooms with us and
Yeah.
all of that, even if you're in a neck brace,
Yeah. I can still coach. I can still come out there, My crew is pretty much going to run these races because they can. Which
Did you
was my
say-
goal.
Did you say the surgery is scheduled, or you're trying to get it scheduled for right after the St. Louis Triathlon?
They told me it might be the Monday, the 23rd, or it might be the 6th or 7th. So they want me to do it as soon as possible. I'm just checking to see if they called. No, they didn't call yet. But because they said I might know tomorrow or Wednesday, but I was trying to call them today because I want to know, right? I just want to know as soon as possible. So yeah.
And if you can get on somebody's surgery schedule on either of those dates, I know you want the sooner one, that's fast.
I know. Well, yeah, it's funny because when my doctor called the neurologist, she's like, I'm going to call this neurologist. He's not open. It's after 4, so he's not open, but hopefully they'll get back in touch with you soon. They called me that night, and they called me 3 times that night and said, we're opening our office at 8 for you. We normally open at 8:30. Can you come in tomorrow morning at 8? Please come in. We'll be here for you. I walked in there. They're like, Sally? I said, yep. They said, come with us. They didn't even have me fill out any paperwork. They didn't even look at my ID. They were like, they wanted to look at the x-rays with me right away.
Oh,
It was pretty freaky. Yeah. Let me know.
it's amazing you're doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
That kind of answer.
Now, believe me, I am so scared right now. I'm just so scared. Like, you say the word paralyzed, I was like, okay, I'm not gonna move. Don't worry. Shit. No.
I'm the humor.
Yes. Yes. See, I
don't
am.
worry, Sally. You'll be all right. Don't worry.
Thank you.
You
I
are
know
very
it's
strong
tough.
here. You're very strong here. Okay.
Yep, I am. And I can't wait
You
to
are.
be back out there with you guys.
Yep. You'll be.
So thank you for listening. And thank
Thanks,
you.
Sally.
Tonight.
Thanks.
Yep. All right. And I'll be in touch with all of you. If anybody wants to do a 15-minute meeting before the race, let me know anytime in the upcoming days.
Okay.
Sounds great.
Thank you. I appreciate
Okay.
your time and everything.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you all for coming.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
got this with you.
See you guys out there.
Bye, guys. Thank
good
you.
luck.
Thank you. See you soon.
See
All right.
you.